Recording in progress.
ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गे राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णकृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकारिणी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we are discussing from Srimad Bhagvatam. We are on Canto 3. We are discussing the wonderful pastime of appearance of Varahadev, and in consequence, in a storyline, Maitreya Muni is describing the background of the appearance of Varahadev, that is the birth of Hiranyaksh and Hiranyakashipu. So in the 14th chapter, it was described Diti, she was very much disturbed because all her sisters, they had children, she didn't have. And being impelled by lust, she approaches Kashyap Muni in the evening time. And although Kashyap Muni tried his best to convince her to wait, but she didn't listen. Ultimately, they united, and then Kashyap Muni told that because you have disobeyed the Devtas, you have disobeyed my instructions, and because you had no pure intentions, so therefore your sons will be great demons. And then Diti started repenting, and then she said, please show mercy, my son should not be killed by the wrath of the Brahmanas. Kashyap Muni says, no, he'll be killed by the Supreme Lord himself. Diti becomes little satisfied, and then Kashyap Muni says that your grandson will become a great devotee. And the glories of Prahlad Maharaj was described in the end of the last chapter. Then in the beginning of the 15th chapter, which is the description of the kingdom of God, so Devtas now, they are asking Brahmaji about the history of the sons of Diti. Because the Diti is now pregnant, so Devtas, they approach Brahma. It is described. And the sons within the womb would be the cause of disturbance to the demigods. So she holds her sons in her womb for 100 years. And then Diti, as the pregnancy was increasing, the influence of sons in the womb, that the entire universe started getting covered with darkness. Everyone started becoming disturbed. What is happening? They all go to Brahmaji, and Devtas, they describe the state of affairs to Brahmaji and tells him to help in that situation. Before asking for help, they glorify Brahma as the supreme. And we discussed a little bit about that. देवदेव जगद्धातर लोकनाथ शिखामणे परेशाम अपरेशाम त्वं भूतानामसि भाववित् नमो विज्ञान वीर्याय मायेदम अपयेशे गृहीत गुण भेदाय नमस्ते व्यक्त योनये. So in this way he is describing beautifully Brahmaji as the supreme lord himself. So now we discuss till verse number 7. We'll continue from 8th verse. Gavastantyeva yantritaha 3:15:8, right?
15. Yasya vacha prajasya.
Oh, sorry. I think there's a mistake in the notes I have made. 3:15:8. यस्य वाचा प्रजा सर्वा गावस्तन्त्येव यन्त्रिताः हरन्ति बलमायात्ताः तस्मै मुख्याय ते नमः.
All the living entities within the universe are conducted by the Vedic directions, as a bull is directed by the rope attached to its nose. No one can violate the rules laid by the Vedic literatures. To the chief person who has contributed the Vedas, we offer our respect.
So, Gavastantyeva yantritaha. Just like the cow is controlled by the rope which is there in the nose. Gavastantyeva yantritaha. Yasya vacha praja sarva. Similarly, all the living entities within this universe are controlled by the Vedic instructions. A very nice example. Just like the bull is controlled by the rope which is attached to the nose, all the living entities are controlled by the Vedic directions. Haranti balim ayatas. No one can violate the rules laid down in the Vedic scriptures. And because you have created, that means the Vedas are coming from Brahmaji, from the breath of Brahma, from the creation of Brahmaji. We discussed in the last chapter how Brahmaji created all the Vedas from different parts. Tasmai mukhyaya te namaha. To the chief person who has contributed to the Vedas, we offer our respect. So Prabhupada writes, the conditioned souls who have come to this world for sense gratification are regulated by injunctions of Vedic literature. The sense gratification, Prabhupada gives a very wonderful example which is commonly quoted. So here it is mentioned. It is like a salt. So if it is a sense gratification is good or bad, so the question is, how much? It is not good or bad. It depends on the quantity. Because we have to do sense gratification. We cannot live without sense gratification. Sense gratification means anything we put in our senses. That is sense gratification. So it is like salt. One can't take too much or too little. So that's how the Vedic instructions, they tell us how much to enjoy in this world. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. How much to do dharma, artha and kama. Kama is regulated when we practice dharma. Prabhupada writes, those conditioned souls who have come to this material world should utilize their senses according to the Vedic literature. Otherwise, they'll be put into more miserable condition of life. Unrestricted sense gratification leads to miseries. Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkhayoneevati. Sattvam vidatsa shambhumam tamasalupta karmanam adabradaya drishtya apannan arhasi sikshitum.
The demigods prayed to Brahma, please look upon us mercifully, for we have fallen into a miserable condition. Because of the darkness, all our work has been suspended.
Apannan arhasi, please look at us. देखो कितना बुरा हाल हो गया है. Apannan arhasi ikshitam. Please see, look mercifully. Dayaya, adabra dayaya. Adabra means magnanimous. Sosa vadabra bhagavan karuno vivritta. We chant this mantra. Adabra, you are magnanimous without any reservation. So please be merciful without any reservation. Because you are so great, Bhuman. You know the reason. How we have been covered by this darkness. Prabhupada writes. Because of complete darkness throughout the universe, the regular activities and engagements of all the different planets were suspended. They were having close association.
Hidden answer.
Yeah, we are क्या बोलते हैं चैतन्य महाप्रभु रामानंद राय बोलते हैं रहस्य स्थान है in a secluded place. Okay, so they are going to Brahmaji and saying light चला गया generator चालू करना पड़ेगा, please do something. So demigods, they always come to Brahmaji with some agenda, and that's why when you want something from someone, you have to glorify him too much. Excess glorification. They are glorifying Brahmaji as Supreme Lord. We are in
That food is ready. Should we go? Or
9. Yes, we can go.
we can just carry.
All the devatas, they go to Brahma and they are requesting that please tell us and do something about this darkness. So all the devatas, they always approach to Brahmaji and even Vishnu with some material motives. Very seldom it is described that they are going to Devata and they are going to Brahmaji or Lord Vishnu for some spiritual purpose. So that's how the Devatas, they are not always completely absorbed in pure devotion. So that's why in Krishna consciousness, we are followers of gopis, not the Devatas. They are always in the mood of material enjoyment, although they may be pure devotees, but they get covered by the material desires many times. That's why in the 5th canto there is a verse which says the Devatas are praying to the Lord, offering prayers. Oh my Lord, we have done so much of tapasya and dana, vrata, and we have come here in the heaven. But there is one big problem here. We cannot remember the lotus feet, your lotus feet, because there is so much of sense gratification. So these prayers, these devatas are not the original prominent devatas, but some people they go from from earth to heaven. So these devatas, they are praying like this because there are some devatas who are pure devotees. There are many who go from material earth to the heavenly planets. So these type of people, they go to heaven and they also get some realizations that I want to remember Lord, but it is very difficult. Kim dushkaraina kratuvistapo vratai dana dipirva dujayena falguna dushkair tapa vrata dan sab karke we have achieved. But nayatra narayana pada pankaja smriti, there is no remembrance of the lotus feet of the Lord here. Why? Atishay indriyotsava. There is so much of sense gratification here. So, Prabhupada, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the purport, because of the darkness, there were no divisions of day and night. See us surrendered unto you with plentiful mercy. So that's how they are, explaining, they are expressing their very humble menial position so that compassion can be invoked. It's like when we stop at the signal and a beggar comes and एकदम ऐसा फटे पुराने कपड़े, so we also see बेचारा कुछ दे देते हैं उसको. So that's how the devatas are very humbly presenting their case. So then in the next verse, all these devatas, they explain the reason why he should show compassion to them. They say that all these wicked demons are getting originated. So please be gracious, please bless us so that we do not have to fear them. Esh devaditer garbha Oja Kashyapam arpitam Vishasti Miraya Sarva Vardate Nirivedasi.
वर्धते अग्रे.
Yes.
As fury overloads the fire, so the embryo created by the semen of Kashyapa in the womb of Diti is called complete darkness throughout the ages.
So when there is too much of the fuel in the fire, then there is smoke. So they are saying Vardhate Agni Rivaidasi. As the fuel overloads fire, the Kashyapa Oja, the semen of Kashyapa, which is there in the womb of Diti Garbha, what is he doing? Dishastimirayan Sarva, the entire surrounding universe is getting covered with darkness. So, whenever there is some danger or problem in the life of a person, we approach some other devote, some other senior person or more powerful person. But whenever we approach somebody, there is a protocol how to approach. First thing is we have to glorify the person. That's what these Devatas are doing. And then express your fallen condition. Okay, we are so very distressed. And then express your desire. This theme is very constant and consistent throughout Bhagavatam. All the great devotees, when they approach the Lord, they first glorify Him, then tell their fallen condition, and then desire. Samprarthanatmika, Dainya Bodhika, and Lalsam. They are saying, okay. Yeah. So in this way, after here listening the words of all the celestials, all the devatas, the Brahmaji, he understood, he appreciated that actually they are in real danger. So Maitreya Muni, he is now continuing the story, what Brahmaji is telling them. Maitreya Uvacha
Maitreya Uvacha
Bhagavan
Purusham Mahabaho
Pratyachashtam
Bhagavan
Gurudeva
Sadgochara
Prinan Rucharaya Gira.
Yan Ruchira Gira.
Said, thus Lord Brahma, who is understood by transcendental vibration, tried to satisfy the demigods, being pleased with their words of prayer.
So Brahmaji, he understood the problem. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, oh, the ignorant praise me. I am useless to deliver them from this difficulty. They have come for protection, but they don't know I cannot save them. Therefore, he is smiling. Prinan Ruchiraya Gira, he is smiling. Saprahasya, he smiled. Although he is Maitreya is calling Vidurji as Mahabaho. Oh, powerful one. Although Brahmaji, he heard all these prayers, but he knew that I cannot help them. He smiled just as an elder smiles at the children. Shabda Gochara means Brahma was the object of prayers of the Devatas. That's why it's called as Shabda Gochara. Krishna is also called as Shabda Gochar. One can approach the Lord through sound vibration. So, Brahma, he will not tell about the wrong behavior of. We have to understand now Brahma is about to tell the story of four Kumaras going and cursing Jai Vijay. So we have to understand that Lord will not tell about the wrong behavior of the servants of the Lord to anyone, but only to those who are actually able to understand the whole scene. Because this whole pastime is very interesting. Because Jai Vijay is also confused when Lord appears. Jai Vijay is thinking हमको गाली दे रहे हैं कि हमारा glorification कर नहीं. Four Kumaras are thinking, sorry. हमको is he chastising us or is he glorifying us? How to understand? So Brahmaji is now explaining very, very wonderfully the whole scene. He describes the background. So background story चालू हो रहा है. Now Brahmaji is telling what is this whole thing all about? Who are these two sons which are there in the womb of Diti? Brahma Uvacha Manasa me Sutayushma Purvaja Sherur Vihaya Lokeshu Vigata Spriha.
Say, my four sons, Sanatana, Sanatana, Sanandana, and Sanat Kumar,
who were born from my mind are your predecessors. Sometimes they travel throughout the material and spiritual skies without any definite desire.
Lokeshu vigata spriha, without any desire, they travel causelessly. मतलब ऐसा घूम रहे बिना मतलब मैं ऐसा मतलब हिंदी में बोलेंगे. But it is not like that. They are just traveling as Lord directs them. महद विचलनम नृणाम गृहीणाम दीनचेतसाम निश्रेयसाय भगवान कल्पते नान्यथा क्वचित्. Whenever great personalities they travel only for one purpose, for the welfare of people in this world. That is how they are traveling everywhere. Yadrichaya, this word comes many times. Yadrichaya, out of his own accord, Narad Muni appeared in front of Nalkur Manigriv. So suddenly, without any reason, no. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur tells at one place that whenever the word Yadrichaya is used, it should be understood as Lord is directing them to that place. Because a pure devotee cannot travel anywhere unless directed by the Lord. So that is how they are traveling only for preaching. Prabhupada also writes about the same thing in the purport. When we speak of the desire, we refer to the desire for material sense gratification. Saintly persons have no material desire. Sometimes they travel to preach devotional service. Lokeshu vigata spriha, without any material desire, they travel. Because preaching is the only happiness in the material world. We all know the story of Bhavananda Prabhu getting initiated. And he went and asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, what is the meaning of Bhavananda? So he said, I think it is the one who takes pleasure in the bhava. So Prabhupada said, that is Bhavananda. Your name is Bhavananda. Bhavananda means one who takes pleasure in this material world. So he's thinking, ye kya naam diya mere ko? So then Prabhupada said, there is only one pleasure in this material world when we go and preach this message of Krishna consciousness. That is called as Bhavananda. So all these four brothers, they symbolize various qualities, and prominently they symbolize tapasya. So they did not walk; they just fly everywhere. They don't walk like human beings. They roam everywhere, and they don't get tired of roaming because they are just flying. And that's why they are wandering everywhere, preaching this message of Krishna consciousness. So just like when they were traveling, once they developed the desire, we have heard about Brahman a lot. We want to know the source of Brahman, darshan karna hai. So they reach Vaikuntha. Ta ekada bhagavato Vaikunthasyaamalatmanaha Yayu Vaikuntha nilayam Sarvaloka namaskritam.
After thus traveling all over the universes, they also entered into the spiritual sky, for they were free from all material contamination. In the spiritual sky, there are spiritual planets known as Vaikunthas, which are the residents of Supreme Personality of Godhead and his pure devotees, and are worshipped by the residents of all the material planets.
Ta ekada, once upon a time, as they were traveling all over the universe, they entered Vaikuntha, Vaikunthasya. And what is the quality of Vaikuntha? Amala Atmana, it is free from all the material contamination. No lust, anger, greed, pride there. It is there. Nothing is there. Amala Atmana. Or Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Amala Atmana means the Lord who purifies the hearts. Vaikuntha is the abode of the Lord who is Amala Atmana, who purifies everyone's hearts of all the material contamination. And Yayu Vaikuntha, they entered the spiritual sky, Vaikuntha Nilayam. And another quality of this Vaikuntha is Sarva Loka Namaskritam. They are worshipped. The Vaikuntha and all the residents of Vaikuntha, they are worshipped by everyone, all the material denizens of the material world, they worship. So devotees, they are very, very clever. They never leave a chance to, glorify the Lord in any opportunity. So what is happening here is, Devtas, they have come here asking light chala gaya, power failure ho gaya, generator chalu karna hai. And Brahma ji, he sees this an opportunity to speak Krishna katha. मतलब प्रॉब्लम कुछ और है और यहाँ पे इतना लंबा स्टोरी बैकग्राउंड सुना रहे हैं. So that's how the devotees are. Now, whenever some opportunity for material solution के पहले spiritual solution नहीं. What is the whole story all about? बैठो सुनो बाद में हम देखेंगे क्या करना है. So same thing when Raghunath Das Goswami goes to Nityananda Prabhu asking that, oh, I am entangled in this material world. I want to leave everything and go to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nityananda Prabhu says, okay, solution is you feed chida dahi to everyone. तो बोले प्रॉब्लम क्या है, solution क्या दे रहे हैं? So sometimes the spiritual solutions, they don't make sense. So that's why, when the person is new in Krishna consciousness and he comes and devotee says, you should chant more and you should focus more on Krishna, and he may be thinking, मेरा problem क्या है, ये solution क्या दे रहा है? Of course, we have to be practical also in dealing with the problem but if you are just dealing with the material problem, not raising the consciousness of the person, then the purpose is defeated. Whenever we preach and the person comes with some problem, so of course we should try to solve the material problem. At the same time, it is an opportunity for that person to rise above. Because in that situation, jo bolenga wo sab karega. So he'll be more focused on spiritual practice also. So that's how Brahmaji, he is taking this opportunity to speak about the glories of Vaikuntha, what happens in Vaikuntha. मतलब इतना पीछे जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, पहले ही बता देते, लेकिन Vaikuntha and description of Vaikuntha and what happens in Vaikuntha. So everything is describing आराम से, और देवता लोग सोच रहे होंगे क्या हमारा प्रॉब्लम कुछ और है, क्या बता रहे हैं स्टोरी ये सब. So that's how we should try to give spiritual solutions. Prabhupada writes, material world is full of cares and anxieties. In any of the planets, from the highest to lowest, every living being is full of anxiety. But living beings are eternal. They want an eternal home. But because they are staying in this temporary abode, they are full of anxiety. So therefore, as a spiritual practitioner, we should try to ourselves practice and bring others close to Krishna, because that is the only ultimate solution. So actually, where did the Kumaras go? ये वैकुंठ कौन सा है? Out of the world, out of the material universe. कौन से वैकुंठ में गए ये लोग?
There are two Vaikuntras.
There are three Vaikuntras. There are three Vaikuntha in the material world. एक तो ध्रुवलोक है, वो भी वैकुंठ है. Above there is a Vaikuntha above Satyaloka also. Second canto में हमने पढ़ा है. It is described in the verse. The abode of the Lord, Brahma Loka. That Brahma Loka is above Satyaloka. That is Vaikuntha. And this was created by Lord Vaikuntha for his wife. When Lord appeared as Vaikuntha, one of the avatars, he created this Satyaloka ke upar wala for his wife. And there is third above Loka mountain. There also is a Vaikuntha. So Brahma.
Material world.
हाँ लोकालोक तो material world में है.
Actually, Vaikuntha is spiritual world.
So वैकुंठ तो भगवान जहाँ पे रहेंगे, it is like an embassy. If you have been to any of the embassies, you will not find anything of India in American embassy. So वैकुंठ है इधर ही मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में, लेकिन इंडिया में ही है वो यूएस एम्बेसी, बट एवरीथिंग देयर विल बी ऑफ अमेरिका ओनली. सो भगवान कितना भी वैकुंठ बना सकते हैं, उसमें क्या है? What is
The
the
point was mentioned is the spiritual material world is spiritual world, right? We always think spiritual world is above the planets and material world is here. But the But then within this Bhuloka also, the spiritual world is exists because Lord has appeared in various forms.
Wherever Lord appears, it is Vaikuntha. So it is not that, oh, spiritual. अभी deities क्या है? Are they spiritual?
Mirror. Where we are sitting now.
So what are the deities are matter? But are deities transcendental? Or are they matter, material? Because material है ना, stone है. But no, it is not matter. It is transcendent. So Lord can do anything. Lord can transform material things also.
Vaikuntha or not above?
Of course. इसमें क्यों doubt हो रहा है आपको? So there is a Vaikuntha, there are unlimited Vaikuntha planets out of the material universe. But Lord creates an embassy of the Vaikuntha in the material universe also. Dhruva Loka is a material universe, material world में, लेकिन it is a Vaikuntha. And
the temple design is a bit like Vaikuntha. Temple, entire temple. But in our
उसको बोलते हैं ना जो स्वयं प्रकाश भैरव प्रकाश when he goes to Vaikuntha Lok, then he takes the भैरव प्रकाश that बोलते हैं.
who?
Then the Lord भगवान को स्वयं प्रकाश होते हैं तो कृष्णा रहते हैं वृंदावन में. When he goes out of Vrindavan,
Yeah,
he takes
वो तो है ना. The avatars का जो hierarchy तो different है.
that part of Vaikuntha is not part of material world.
The above.
That is the descended part actually. Like even Vrindavan also is not a part of the material energy. It's a part of spiritual energy, what is manifested here. And that's true understanding.
Yes, yes, yes.
So Vrindavan is the part portion, that Braj portion is descended actually. So certain spiritual world descended part is like here in the Bhuvaikuntha, like we say in Bhuvaikuntha. So they enter into the Bhuvaikuntha.
Of course. Yeah. They went to one of these places. Either Dhruva Loka or Satya Loka, Loka Loka. इन तीनों में से कहीं तो गए होंगे.
So they didn't go to the.
No. Even Durvasa Muni, when it is described, he went to Vaikuntha. Which Vaikuntha? He cannot travel out of the universe. He went to one of the Vaikuntha in this universe. That's all. So after describing the whole Vaikuntha, ना दिखता है ना Vaikuntha हमको. That's the Vaikuntha. Lord is there residing. Shwetadvipa है ना. Okay, so now he is describing after giving all the background story of the Vaikuntha. So now he starts describing the actual Vaikuntha people first. So before that, Prabhupada writes, in the spiritual sky, the planets are called Vaikuntha because the residents of these planets are free from all anxieties. For them, there is no question of birth, old age, disease, and death. Therefore, they are not anxious. So Kuntha means anxiety. Vaikuntha means no anxiety.
There is no anxiety, that their place becomes
Vaikuntha, wherever there is no anxiety. So Vrindavan is not a place, it is a state of consciousness. Annera hridaya man mora man Vrindavan mane vane ek parijani. Mahaprabhu is saying, for others their mind and their heart are different. For me it is same. Their mind is different from Vrindavan. For me my mind is Vrindavan. Mane vane ek parijani. Because I am always thinking about Krishna. So Vrindavan is a place also, it is a state of consciousness also. We can be in Vrindavan consciousness anywhere. So now, 14 to 22nd verse describes how all the Vaikuntha-vasis, they are engaged in service of the Lord and they are free of envy. Very wonderful description. Vasanti yatra purushaha purushaha
Vasanti yatra purusha
sarve vaikuntha murtayaha ye animitta nimittena dharmena radhayan harim.
in the Vaikuntha planets, all the residents are similar in form. The Supreme Person embodied. They are engaged in devotional service to the Lord without decline responsibility.
Vasanti yatra, here. Purusha, all these residents, they stay. Who are they? They are all Vaikuntha Murtaya. So Lord is not envious. He is not insecure. If I'll give my own opulences to them, how will I become prominent? People will not understand and identify that मैं भी अर्थ के हूँ, अलग हूँ. No, he is not insecure like masters of this world. That's why he gives his own farm, his own opulences, exactly same to all the residents of Vaikuntha. But interestingly, after getting all these opulences, all these Vaikuntavasis, they don't start thinking, "Hum bhi Bhagwan ban gaye abhi." They are always aware that we are servants of the Lord. So, animitta sarve Vaikuntha murtaya, although all of them have same form as the Lord. So there are 5 types of liberation. What are they? Anyone remembers the verse by Kapila? Or you can tell the words also. Sarupya, Salokya, Sarishti, Samipya, and Aikatva. So Kapila Dev says, Diyamanam na grinanti vinamat sevananjana. Salokya, Sarishti, Samipya, Sarupya, Aikatvam Pyuta, Diyamanam na grinanti. If Seva is not there, my devotees, they don't accept any of them. So in Vaikuntha, Sarupya, same form. Sarishti, same opulences. So Prabhupada writes, and ye animitta nimittena, without any desire for sense gratification, what are they doing? Dharmena aradhayan. According to their dharma. What is the dharma of a devotee? What is dharma of a jnani? Now, uske pehle dharma of karmi. What a karmi is supposed to do?
Activities.
Fruitive activities, तो उसका, but what is actually doing? He does, how does he connect to the Lord? He does sacrifice, yajna karma. That is the dharma he has to do. For calm, of course. And what is the liberation for karmi? What is ultimate goal? कर्मी को कहाँ जाना है? स्वर्ग जाना है. कर्मी को मुक्ति नहीं चाहिए ना, स्वर्ग चाहिए. तेतम भुक्त्वा स्वर्ग लोकम विशाल, स्वर्ग चाहिए. What is the dharma of jnani? What a jnani has to do?
Knowledge.
Tapasya, brahmacharyena, shamena cha, damena cha. What is the apavarga for a jnani? What is liberation for a jnani?
Mukti.
Mukti, Brahman. What is dharma for a yogi, Ashtanga yogi?
Meditation.
Yam, niyam, asana, pranayam, pratyahara, all these 8. And apavarga, what is liberation? Mukti only, ultimately. What is dharma of a devotee? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, 9 limbs. And what is apavarga for a devotee? Liberation? That is prema, Krishna prema. So this Chakravarti Thakur writes in the verse Dharmasya hi apavargasya nartho arthayupakalpe. In that Chakravarti Thakur writes, so dharmena aradhayan. They are worshipping the Lord with all their hearts. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, they are always doing. Dharmena aradhayan harim. So Prabhupada writes, in Vaikuntha Loka, there is no occupation for but the service of the Lord. And this service is not rendered with a purpose. What will I get? What's in it for me? Nobody asks that. Although every service has a particular result, the devotees never aspire for material desires. So that is how the Vaikuntha is. All the gopis and all the sakhis, they never want to enjoy with Krishna personally. They are only interested in assisting Radha and Krishna because that gives them the greater pleasure. So none of the devotees in the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, they want to enjoy personally. Although they have all their facilities for enjoyment, but they don't want to enjoy because service to the Lord is such a wonderful experience that is unlimited times greater than enjoying one's personally. It is said, Chaitanya Charitamrita Kaviraj Goswami describes, when the Sakhis, they assist Radha and Krishna in their sense gratification, they enjoy 10 million times more than Radha Krishna. So that's how Krishna is intrigued. They are serving me and they are getting more enjoyment. So that is how the spiritual world is. Animitta nimittena, they have no ulterior motives which impel. In this world, any activity is impelled by material desires. There is no material motive, but still they are impelled by what? Only with one desire to please the Lord, unalloyed. After describing the residents of the Lord, now Brahmaji describes the main personality of Vaikuntha. Yatra chadyah pumanaste Bhagavan Shabdagocharaha Sattvam Vishtabhya Virajam Svanam no Mridayan Vrishaha.
In the Vaikuntha planets is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the original person and who can be understood through the Vedic literature. He is full of the uncontaminated mode of goodness with no place for passion or ignorance. He contributes religious progress for the devotees.
So all the devotees, they are always engaged in serving the Lord. Some people ask, if you are telling that you have to go to the spiritual world, करना क्या वहां पे जाके? क्या करेंगे? Just look at the Lord. भगवान आपको देखेंगे, आप भगवान को देखेंगे, और क्या करना है? No, dharmen aradhayan, they are worshipping the Lord in so many different ways. And even if we have only one service, just look at the Lord. That is also satisfying. Lord can satisfy a devotee just by looking at him. The devotee will be satisfied, because Lord is so very wonderful. He keeps on manifesting newer and newer beautiful forms and rasas. That personality is Adya Puman. Yatra cha Adya Pumanaste. The Lord exists only for one purpose. He exists to contribute for the religious progress. Swanam no Mridayan Vrishaha. That's the purpose of Lord's appearance in this world or anywhere. He wants to give pleasure to his devotees. He wants to attract devotees to his own abode. That Supreme Lord who is Shabda Gocharaha, who can be Shabda Gochara, this word has come again here. Previously it was talked about Brahmaji, Shabda Gochar. Again it is described, Shabda Gochar. He is understood only through Vedic literature, because he is Adhokshaja, who nobody can understand the Lord by his own senses. Anywhere in Nectar of Devotion there is a verse which says we cannot understand the Lord by our senses. मैं भी भूल गया. Very famous
अतः
verse.
श्री कृष्ण नामादि न भवेत् ग्राह्यम् इंद्रिय.
Thank you. अतः श्री कृष्ण नामादि न भवेत् ग्राह्यम् इंद्रिय. So how to understand and perceive the Lord? Seva. Sevomukhi jihvado. So Bhagavan is Shabda Gochara. And what is the form of the Lord? Sattvam Vishtabhya. Uncontaminated mode of passion and ignorance. It is uncontaminated from passion and even goodness also. Goodness, passion, ignorance. It is Vishuddha Sattva. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam Yadiyate Yatra Pumana Pavrita. Prabhupada has quoted this verse hundreds of times. Sattvam Vishuddham. That Supreme Lord is situated in a Vishuddha Sattva. And he contributes to the religious progress for the devotees. Prabhupada writes, Kingdom of God cannot be understood by any process other than hearing. Shabda Gochar. Prabhupada is elaborating on it. No one can go see it. In the material world also, one who is unable to pay to go to a far distant place by motorized conveyances can only understand from authentic books. अभी जा नहीं सकते, सुन तो सकते हैं. तो हम भी सुन सकते हैं खाली. We can just read and hear about that abode and we should get attracted. Prabhupada writes in 15th chapter Bhagavad Gita में, there is no sun, there is no moon there. कौन सा है? न तद् भाषयते सूर्यो न शशांको न पावक. Prabhupada writes there, one should be attracted by such descriptions. One should develop a desire to go to the place. जहाँ गम भी न हो, आंसू भी न हो. So, all the descriptions of the Vedas about the spiritual world are only meant for one purpose, to attract our attention.
But it would be nice if we can have a glimpse of it.
Glimpse, Vrindavan में glimpse मिलता है ना अभी. बट आप बोलेंगे अभी कहाँ glimpse, अभी तो सब वृंदावन is now city. सब शब्द गोचर है. We have to just see through the ears. क्या है वो शब्द, क्या है? When we see through the ears, we can smell through the ears. आया था ना अभी कुछ दिन पहले. प्रवणीय नहीं, वो तो वर्ड. We see through the ears. श्रुत इक्षित नहीं, इक्षणीय नहीं, वो तो वर्थ है. वो क्या है वो? या से श्रुते इक्षित पथो ननुनाथ पुंसाम यद यद दिया. फर्स्ट लाइन क्या है? एनीवेज, श्रुत इक्षित, we can see through the ears. और वो smell through the ears कौन से? पिबन्ति ये भागवतात्मन कथाम कथामृतम श्रवणपुटेषु पुनन्ति ते. हाँ, पुनन्त यही है. पिबन्ति ये भागवतात्मन कथाम कथामृतम कर्णपुटेषु संवृताम पुनन्ति ते विषय विदूषिताशयाम. नहीं, व्रजन्ति तच्चरम. जिघ्रन्ति कर्ण विवरय श्रुतिवातनितम. इसमें आता है जिघ्रन्ति, we can smell through the जिघ्रन्ति कर्ण विवरय श्रुतिवातनितम. आंसर फर्स्ट लाइन. जिघ्रन्ति टाइप करेंगे तो आ जाएगा. So we can see the Lord only through the ears. See the abode of the Lord only through the ears. Jighranti karna vivarai shrutivātanitam bhaktya grihita charana paraya chatesham napayishinath hridayam buruhat sapumsam. First line yaad nahi aa raha hai. Anyways, Prabhupada writes, the modern scientists who are trying to travel in space are having difficulty going to the nearest planet. So what to speak of going to the spiritual world? Not possible. Only through authentic descriptions. मिला प्रभु जी? जिघ्रन्ति.
Recently it was there.
हाँ, recently था ना, इससे तो पूछ रहा हूँ मैं. 395. ये तू त्वदीय चरणाम्बुज कोशगंधम. 395. ये तू त्वदीय चरणाम्बुज कोशगंधम जिघ्रन्ति कर्ण विवरे. इसका टेस्ट हो गया है ना अपना? याद भी किया होगा.
वर्ड्स आया भी कुछ.
आया था. Okay, so after describing the Vaikuntha residents, after describing the Lord, now he is describing the ambience of Vaikuntha. वहां पे क्या है? There is a forest in Vaikuntha of the name Nishreyasa. Yatra Nishreyasam nama vanam kama dukhair drumaihi sarvartu shribhir vibhrajat kaivalyam iva murtim.
Vaibhav Shivamurtiman.
In those
In those Vaikuntha planets, there are many forests which are very auspicious. In those forests, the trees are desire trees, and in all seasons they are filled with flowers and fruits, because everything in Vaikuntha planet
Spiritual and personal. Okay. Yatra Naishreyasam Nama, there is a beautiful Kalpa Vriksha forest there. That is called as Naishreyasa. All the trees there are Kama Dughair. They are all desire fulfilling trees. And Sarvartu Shribhir Vibhrajat. In all the seasons they are filled with flowers and fruits. When Lord Krishna appeared in Vrindavan, there was spring season always. There was no rainy season, there was no winter heat like now we experience. It was all rainy. It was all spring season. Vasanta. Vasanta iva lakshitai yatraste bhagavan sakshat saharamena keshava. Everything was only wonderful Vasanta. Sarvartu Shribhir Vibhrajat, and fourth line is interesting. Kaivalyam iva murtimat. So Prabhupada writes, everything in Vaikuntha is spiritual and personal. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, all the trees which are described as Kama Dughair, they are all Nitya Siddha devotees. They are filled with bliss without any interruption. Everything in the spiritual world is chit. It is conscious. Even the dust is conscious. And the birds are Atmaram. They have no material desires. Everything is spiritual there. So this entire universe, entire Vaikuntha planet, it is all full of desire fulfilling trees, and all the trees, they are persons. Everything is person there. Yes, sir.
Just some mundane thoughts coming in that, so let me clarify. So now, Vaikuntha planets also have seasons, no? Isn't it? Seasonal thing will be there, so that there is a variegatedness. So now, sometimes the Mogra jasmine flowers is there, it is not there. And this, what is the white flower? Sometimes they not panic flowers, they come in some seasons. So we look for that, okay, one penny and going. So that sort of thing is there here. So when you have the flowers all the time, fruits all the time, and same spring season all the time. So does it in the
वही ये boring हो जाएगा नहीं?
So it becomes a complacent, okay, ठीक है, same.
Krishna's beauty is always increasing in Vaikuntha. Lord Vishnu.
Definitely there and is there in this Golok also. If you just stay for only on 1 month,
नहीं वो बोल रहे हैं कि सब सीजन हमेशा ही रहेंगे तो फिर एक्साइटमेंट कैसे होगा?
There is a changing seasons everywhere. In spiritual also changing seasons है. What is time?
नहीं यहाँ पे लिखे है ना? All seasons, all the trees are filled with flowers and fruits.
But the seasons na, then as per the desire of the Lord, whichever season you want, that season will be there, like this.
वो तो है.
So, अभी now supposing they are on rainy season. Recently there was full winter here. For 4 days rainy season in Goloka. I'm just giving Vrindavan capacity. Krishna wants the rainy season is in winter. What is the role of winter in rainy season? He can change anything, but like variegated place will be everything there. Yes, sir.
Yeah, my question was that in Vaikuntha, if everything is happening,
Always.
so then
You know, in
anchoring for that key, अभी वो
Yeah.
कब आएगा? ये कब आएगा?
you know, in Jaiva Dharma, Bhaktivinoda Thakur very nicely and very technically describes how the spiritual world should be understood and what we cannot understand with our material mind and intelligence. He says, Jaiva Dharma is a very wonderful book. We are hearing Balram Shakti Prabhu's classes. He comes once in a month, तो वहाँ पे हमारे temple में brahmachari class देते हैं. So we are discussing Jaiva Dharma. Prabhuji is explaining. So he this is a conversation going on between Brajnath and Raghunath Das Babaji. So Brajnath is a spiritual aspirant and Raghunath Das Babaji is a liberated soul already. So he asks, typical जीवा fall down वाला issue, So बोलते हैं देखिए, a jiva with material mind and intelligence will never understand. Why? Because what we have experienced this time in this world, the time of the spiritual world is different from the time of material world. Here, Bhuta, Bhavishya, Vartaman is there. There, everything is on Vartaman only. There is no Bhut and no Bhavishya.
Bhuta means past.
Past and future, it is not present. So how is it happening? He gave us one simple, little example. He gave. Completely to samajh nahi sakte. He said, if we are absorbed in doing some activity, we don't even perceive the past and future. We are there present always. If the activity is very absorbing.
Transcending the modes in these.
Some glimpse. So, but anything of this world cannot give us permanent absorption. Few seconds, a few minutes, a few hours. After that, we again remember past and future. Spiritual world, Krishna is so attractive. He's all attractive. So all the devotees, they cannot think of anything past and future. So all the pastimes of spiritual world, they are continuously repeating. but nobody of them perceive ये तो अभी हुआ था. In Brihad Bhagavatamrit, Gop Kumar, when he goes to Vaikuntha, Goloka, he sees the same pastimes happening again and again. Akrura is coming again and again and taking Krishna. And Krishna is killing the demons again and again. All the Brajvasis are all excited. They don't even perceive that abhi to hua tha. So we cannot but get confused by all this.
This is in one planet, and again the Leela is happening in another planet.
वो तो यहाँ पे है.
Same.
नहीं नहीं, मैं उधर ही बोल रहा हूँ, वैकुंठ गोलोक का बोल रहा हूँ. He is seeing the same things happening again and again in Goloka. ये इन लोगों को पता क्यों नहीं चल रहा है? So in that he says that with our material intelligence we can never comprehend. So this whole issue of why Jiva fell down, when Jiva fell, Prabhupada gave a simple answer. क्या बोले Prabhupada? Go back and find out. And many times devotees feel Prabhupada didn't want to answer this question, इसलिए सारे घुमा फिरा के बोल रहे हैं. Actually, we can never understand. That's why Prabhupada said, please don't spend your time and energy. नहीं होगा, समझ ही नहीं सकते. Because all our thoughts are influenced by three, भूत भविष्य वर्तमान. उसके बाहर हम सोच ही नहीं सकते. We cannot conceive of any reality which is beyond time. So कैसे होता है वो तो पता नहीं. But still some example is given कभी कभार. It's like शाखा चंद्र न्याय बताना है बच्चे को how the moon looks like. वो ये दो शाखा है ना, उसके बीच में राउंड वाला है, that is moon. शाखा चंद्र न्याय. If the small child has to be told what is this round object, वो moon कैसा होता है? So mother will say, can you see the two branches of the tree? He said yes. उसके बीच में एक गोल सा दिख रहा है, that is moon. अच्छा. So then as he moves, the sun comes out of the moon comes out of the branch. The child will say, वो moon है तो ये क्या है? So he cannot understand कि ये भी वही moon है. So for him, it is difficult to understand the full reality, but some example is given. कि ये white जो दिख रहा है वो moon है, ये भी moon है, वो भी moon है, तो little understanding he may get, not complete. अपना condition wise सही. उधर सब जगह all seasons are there तो excitement. अरे excitement बहुत होता रहता है. Krishna creates excitement. मतलब there is one place I have heard Krishna sometimes creates some rumors in Goloka. वहां के demons are coming. नहीं तो excitement कैसे होगा? There are no demons in Vrindavan, but still rumor is there. Everybody is running and praying to Krishna. Hey, demons are coming, please help. And because Krishna keeps on attracting them in various flavors. So that is a glimpse of how सब seasons में सब flowers fruits सब भी हैं, फिर भी कैसे excitement होता है. So that is some understanding. मूर्ति मत.
It is like a day night सब होता है ना, because children come, Gopas come to beg Krishna.
सब होता है वहाँ पे, सब होता है वहाँ पे. But कैसे है ये सब समझना थोड़ा मुश्किल, inconceivable है, मुश्किल नहीं है, impossible है. So we cannot understand. That's why in that, Raghunath Das Babaji tells Rajanath, please don't ask this to anyone. You will not be able to understand and nobody will be able to explain to you. So what you should do? Start the process by chanting sincerely. And in due course of time, when you are purified, you will realize yourself. So हमको बस बोल देते हैं चैंटिंग करो, तो इतना सब डिटेल में बताने के बाद बोलते नहीं समझेंगे, then भी नहीं समझेंगे, सच में डिफिकल्ट है, तो क्या करना है? चैंटिंग करना. ठीक है, चैंटिंग करिए. Prabhupada gives simple, chant Hare Krishna, तो इतना simple कैसे है? So that's how human mind, something is given directly, then people think नहीं इतना direct simple कैसे होगा? So now after describing Vaikuntha residents, Vaikuntha Lord, and the ambience and the nature there now. In the 17th verse onwards, the activities of the Vaikuntha planet, the Vaikuntha Vasis are being described. Very, very wonderful. करते क्या हैं वो लोग? खाली देखते हैं, भगवान का दर्शन करते रहते हैं, और क्या करते हैं? कुछ करते भी हैं। वैमानिका सललना चरितानि शश्वत् गायन्ति यत्र शमलं शपनानि भरतो
आयं यत्र
अंतर
समलक्षितमलापि
मधुमाधवीनाम्
अन्तर्जले
तेन
प्रदिवान्ति
खण्डितप्यनिलं क्षिपन्तः
The Vaikuntha planet, the inhabitants fly in their airplane, accompanied by their wives and consorts, and eternally singing of the character and activities of the Lord, which are always devoid of all inauspicious qualities. While singing the glories of the Lord, they deride even the presence of the blossoming Madhvi flowers, which are fragrant and laden with honey.
So these are very beautiful verses, worth memorizing, all these series of verses which are coming here. Vaimanika Salalana. There are no brahmachari ashram there. They are all with their consorts and wives. What are they doing? Vaimanika, सबके पास chartered plane है अपना अपना. And what are they doing? Charitani Shashvat Gayanti. Eternally singing the glories and activities of the Lord. What is the character of the activities and glories of the Lord? Shamala Shapanani. They are devoid of all inauspicious qualities. And while they are singing the glories of the Lord, sometimes their plane passes by beautiful gardens with beautiful ponds. They are filled with Madhu Madhavi flowers, which are very fragrant. The breeze is blowing. The Madhu Madhavi flowers are fragrant, laden with honey. So all this creates a very, very, so to say, romantic atmosphere. But what happens to them? Gandhena akhandit dhiyaha. Gandhena khandit dhiya apyanilam. They never get distracted by smelling the beautiful fragrance of all these flowers. So all these people, although when they pass through all these gardens, they may alight from their planes, they may enter the water, but even while sporting, they are singing the glories of the Lord. And they, when Acharya says, they criticize the wind. Why are you distracting us? By all your fragrance, you are distracting us from the glories of the Lord. Shapanani bhartu. By singing the Shamala Shapanani means by singing the glories of the Lord, they destroy the grief arising from the separation from the Lord. When they are not with the Lord, they feel separation. So how to satisfy themselves? Sing the glories of the Lord. That is how all the gopis, when Krishna left, what are they doing? They are singing the glories of the Lord. Vishwanath Chakravarti writes, the servants descend from their airplanes in order to produce special notes in their singing. They sing while immersed in the lakes up to their throats. They are also enjoying, they are also very having good time there. ऐसा नहीं कि खाली बैठ के दर्शन ही करना है क्या? They have their family, they have their recreation, but all the recreation is centered around Krishna. They revile the wind, that means they chastise the wind. O cool, gentle, murmuring breeze, filled with the fragrance of Madhavi flowers, why do you try to divert the attention of your minds, of our minds, absorbed in the sweetness of the Lord? Do you think you are sweeter than those pastimes? How foolish you are. So that they are criticizing the wind. You are not so sweeter. Lord is sweetest. अहो अहो भिर्नकलेर्विदूयते सुधा सुधारा मधुरं पदे पदे दिने दिने चन्दन चन्द्र शीतलं यशो यशोदा तनयस्य गीयते. So Yasho Yashoda Tanayasya Gita, the glories of the son of Mother Yashoda, it is sweeter than the sweetest. Sudha Sudhara Madhuram Pade Pade, it is all sweet. So that is how these people are, all these Vaikuntavasis, they are telling us that if you are absorbed, nothing can distract you. We get distracted because we are not absorbed. we are absorbed in Krishna, then we will not be distracted by anything of the world. Prabhupada writes. Now Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur continues. Because the previous verse described the trees as being the personification of Kaivalya, there is a suggestion that though the fragrance of the flowers is the personification of the Brahman, the bliss of worshipping the Lord is superior to the bliss of Brahman. So Brahmananda is also very, very powerful as compared to Jadananda. Brahmananda is unlimited. But Bhaktiananda is even, what is the comparison made in Nectar of Devotion? When impersonal Brahmananda is insignificant, what is the characteristic? Pehla chapter mein 6 characteristics of Bhakti.
Oh, Kleshagni.
Aage? Shubhda. सालों हो गए प्रभु जी. Sudurlabha. Fourth is what I'm looking for. Sandrananda Visheshatma. So as compared to Bhaktiananda, the bliss of Brahman is insignificant. When you multiply bliss of Brahman by millions of times, it will not be compared to even drop of Bhaktiananda. So that's what is described here.
So then what we are doing? Nothing, no?
Sorry?
Material was what is this?
Jad Anand, it is insignificant. मतलब उसमें ही हम लोग इतना absorbed हैं. We cannot even understand that what is Brahmanand. और उसके ऊपर भक्त्यानंद तो मतलब सोचने की बात नहीं है. Inconceivable. So in Brahman also there is unlimited happiness. But that is insignificant.
There is no service, no?
सेवा नहीं है. But आनंद है.
I think the free of mukti, na? Mukti means free of all these.
No anxieties.
That is Ananda.
But Bhaktivinoda Thakur tells that.
But how they experience Ananda? Because there is no service for it. That only experience of Ananda is like it is said, no?
But I think compared to Jadananda,
It is unlimited.
Like someone who got lottery, someone got lose something. So compare it to the person who lost everything. The person is happy because he got gained something. So there is no loss and gain. That's only Ananda.
Yes. It's the neutral pleasure. No, ideally the jiva is tatastha.
Yeah.
Either he should be in Mahamaya or in Yogamaya. But in Brahman, he is neither in Yogamaya, neither in Mahamaya. So tat pe hai wo, exactly. So he is experiencing unlimited bliss. मतलब Jadananda के comparison, it is unlimited. So that's how it is. Prabhupada writes, the inhabitants of Vaikuntha are so interested in glorifying the Lord, they do not like the disturbance of such nice breeze. Vaikuntha residents give first preference to the service of the Lord, not their own sense gratification. So service is prominent. Serving the Lord in transcendental love yields transcendental pleasure. That in comparison, sense gratification is insignificant. Krishna das abhiman ei anand sindhu koti brahma sukh nahi tare ek bindu. That is what Advaitacharya and all these people, they want to become devotees. Chaitanya das mui Chaitanya das tara das anudas. Advaitacharya wants to become servant of Mahaprabhu because it is unlimited pleasure. Okay, now, after describing the activities of the people, okay, are there animals in the Vaikuntha? Yes. What are they doing? There are birds described. Paravatanya vrita sarasa chakravaka datyuh hamsa shukatittiri barhinam yaha Bringat kolahalo viramite chiramatramuchai Bringadipe harikathami vagayamane
When the king of these comes in a high pitch, singing the glories of the Lord, there is temporary lull in the noise of the peasant. the cuckoo, the crane, and the swan, the parrot, the partridges, and the peacock. Such transcendental birds stop their own singing simply to hear the glories of the Lord.
So there is a kolahal happening. Kolahal ho raha hai. All these birds are singing. They are all glorifying the Lord. Who are they? Paravata, Anyabrita, Sarasa, Chakravat, Datyuha, Hamsa, Shuka, Tittiri. Titri is sparrow. Barihinam, peacock. Kolahal ho raha hai. But that all the kolahal is immediately stopped. Why? Bringadipe, the king of the bees, he is coming. And he is Iva Gayamane. This word Iva is very important. The bees, they don't sing like all the birds. What are they doing? Just humming sound. But all these birds, they are taking that humming sound as the glorification of the Lord. Iva Gayamane. As if they think, oh, and why they give so much importance to the bee? इतना क्या इतना importance?
On the garland.
Garland of the Lord. On the garland of the Lord, the bee is there, and he is coming from there. So that's why they are giving so much respect. Just like in the Kapila Deva section, when he is glorifying the form of the Lord, in that is described. कौमुदकीं भगवतो दयितां स्मरेत दिग्धामरातिपटशोणितकर्दमेण मालां मधुव्रतवरोथ गिरोपभुष्टं चैत्यस्य तत्त्वममलं मणिमस्य कंठे. The Lord has Kaustubha on his neck. He has Kaumudaki Gada, Daitam, which is always smeared with the blood of the demons. And he is wearing a wonderful garland, Vaijayanti Mala. Vaijayanti Mala Voni. The Vaijayanti Mala is the garland of 5 different types of forest flowers. So Vaijayanti Mala bolte hain. And on that mala, madhu vrata, all the honeybees are always hovering around that. So therefore, all these birds, they understand, ye wahan se aa rahe hain. That's why they give so much respect. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes. Like the devotees riding on the airplanes, the birds are also great devotees with pure bhakti. When they hear, they immediately stop chirping. Oh, there is a glorification of the Lord. Let us be silent and listen. Iva Gayaman. What is that? What type of glorification is happening? The king of the bees, qualified to sit on the garland of the Lord, is humming Hari Hari, caused by the sound of his vibrating wings. This is equal to the glorification of the Lord. So, Iva Gayamane, although he is just humming, but still, he says, I do not know respect the birds show for the bee if he directly glorifies the Lord. The indirectly is glorifying, to itna maan de rahe hain. Directly glorify, how much respect they'll give. So that's how, anyone trying to glorify the Lord should be respected. Either directly or indirectly. Ivagayamane. Somebody may be directly doing seva. Pujari hai, pracharak hai, management kar rahe hain. Somebody may be in the background doing some humble menial service, cleaning the vessels, or doing so many things. Both deserve equal respect. Ivagayamane. So that's how someone may not be directly speaking with Krishna, but any service related to Krishna deserves respect. So that is how this verse describes. They are respecting the beef even if he is indirectly. Ivagayaman. Okay, now the plants of Vaikuntha are described. Another beautiful verse. Now Prabhupada writes, the purport will read that purport. This verse reveals the absolute nature of Vaikuntha. There is no difference between the birds and human residents. The situation in the spiritual sky is that everything is spiritual and variegated. Spiritual variegatedness means everything is animate. There is nothing inanimate. There is no Jadavastu in the Chinmay world. Everybody is completely Krishna conscious. Special feature of the Vaikuntha is that there is no question of sense gratification. Prabhupada writes. In the material world, even an ass enjoys the sound vibration. Prabhupada एकदम ऐसा sometimes एकदम ऐसा शिक्षा मानते हैं तो गधे को भी अपना आवाज पसंद है हिंदी में अच्छा लगता है But in Vaikuntha, such nice birds. तो है ना एक श्लोक है वो सुभाषित का क्या हो उष्ट्रस्य विवाहेषु गर्दभस्य गायनम परस्परम प्रशंसन्ति अहो रूपम अहो ध्वनि. एक बार गधे की शादी हो रही थी नहीं ऊंट की शादी camel's marriage was happening. He invited a donkey. So and he said गाइए. So उष्ट्रस्य विवाहेषु गर्दभस्य गायनम. And Gadha is singing in his nice braying of sound. तो ऊंट क्या बोलता है? They are glorifying each other. ऊंट is telling, camel says, and donkey is saying, "Aho Rupam, how beautiful you are." Camel is not a beautiful animal. Aho Rupam, और ये क्या बोल रहा है? Aho Dhwani, how beautiful you are singing. So that's how in this material world, everyone likes that. मेरा आवाज best है. When people they're not so good at singing. एक तो है उसको मालूम है उसको गाना नहीं आता है दूसरे को मालूम नहीं है कि उसको गाना नहीं आता है वो दूसरा वाला ज्यादा डेंजरस रहता है and when such person sings उसने सुना है एक बहुत अच्छे माधव प्रभु का कीर्तन सुना है so when he starts singing उसके कान में केवल माधव प्रभु ही बजते हैं and he thinks मैं भी माधव प्रभु के जैसे ही गा रहा हूँ. So that's how people they have this consciousness. मतलब एक किसी ने अच्छा सा वीडियो भेजा था I can show you. एक छोटा बच्चा है and with his father both are practicing and singing. तो ये गिटार बजा रहा है छोटा बच्चा और वो फादर भी गा रहा है तो I can show you. मतलब ऐसा वीडियोस में सेव करके रखता हूँ मतलब and amazing मतलब that shows the human mind how human mind works.
Sometimes it convinces even if we don't have good work, it's not so bad.
ठीक है अभी क्या करें अभी एक सुन लेते हैं बट इफ द पर्सन डजंट इवन नो कि मेरा आवाज अच्छा नहीं है इट विल बी अ टॉर्चर और उनको लगता है मैं तो इतना अच्छा गा रहा हूँ मेरे को गाने क्यों नहीं दे रहे ये लोग मैं इतना अच्छा गाता हूँ एनीवेज अभी मेरे को मिल नहीं रहा है मैं बाद में दिखाऊंगा आपको हाँ यार तो 14 सेकंड का ही है एक मिनट आप लोग देख लीजिए ऑनलाइन वालों को नहीं देखने को मिलेगा सॉरी हम ईयरफोन लगा के सुनते तो हमको लगता है कितना अच्छा So Prabhupada बोल रही है as enjoys the sound vibration. But in Vaikuntha, such nice birds as peacock, chakravark, kakur prefer to hear the vibration of the glories of the Lord from the bees. Okay, now what all the plants are doing. मंदार कुंद कुरवोत्पल चंपकर्णा उन्नाग नाग बकुलाम्बुज पारिजातः गन्धेर्चिते तुलसिका भरणेन तस्या यस्मिंस्तपं सुमनसो बहुमानयन्ति
Although flowering plants like the Mandara, Kunda, Kurabaka, Utpala, Champaka, Arna, Punnaga, Nagakesara, Bakula, Lily, and Parijata are full of transcendental fragrance, they are still conscious of their austerities performed by Tulasi. For Tulasi is given special preference by the Lord, who garlands himself with Tulasi leaves.
So these two verses describe that there is no envy in the spiritual world. Although they are so very wonderful, fragrant. Tulasi doesn't have as much strong fragrance as all the other flowers. But still, the mild fragrance of the Tulasi is given more preference because Lord gives so much of respect to Tulasi. So that's how there is no envy. So envy means I cannot tolerate what others have. But in the spiritual world, there is no envy. That's why Krishna says, Shraddhavan anasuyascha shnuyadapiyo naraha sopi mukta shubhalokan prapnuyat punya karmana. Two qualities, Shraddha and Anasuya, non-envy. These are required to be free from this material world. Chakravarti Thakur writes, if we know what austerity she did, we would also go to the land of Bharata and do the same. मतलब वो लोग बोल रहे हैं हम लोग यहाँ पे आएंगे, यहाँ पे तपस्या करेंगे. Would go to the land of Bharata and do the same austerity. This is the hint from the description. Even the inhabitants of Vaikuntha desire to take birth in Bharat. It is hinted that the land of Bharat is superior to Vaikuntha. So that is the glory of Bharat. Bharat bhumite manushya janma hoila jar janma sartak kari kar paropkar.
How is it related with in this section? How Vishnu Chakra Thakur is relating Bharat Bhumi to
I don't know.
Tulsi worship. Huh?
I don't know why he's telling that we would go to the land of Bharata.
Tulsi worship is proper.
Yeah, Prabhupada talks about worship of Tulasi, but why he's mentioning about Bharata, no explanation is given about that.
Tulsi is referred to Bharata instead.
No. Land of Bharat means Bharat Bhumi, here.
Tulsi worship is everywhere.
Bharat, it's called Tulasi, no? Is it not like that? Tulasi in a
Tasyaiva murti tulasi niloke vrinde namaste charanara vindam. So in the material world, Vrinda Devi appears as Tulasi. So यहाँ पे भारत क्यों बोल रहे हैं? Chakravarti Thakur doesn't give the reference, so I cannot.
Bharata Bhumi is meant for bhakti, basically.
So
the whole theme, but it is mentioned properly. Vaikunthas are more, they are inclined only to hear devotional service.
Yes.
So every point, Prabhupada is connecting, they are not inclined to their own glories, they are inclined for their own sound, they are not inclined for, breeze, that honeybee breeze, all that flower breeze with honey. The whole focus of the Vaikuntha is just to hear Krishna Katha or devotional service. That's why I think the point here mentioned by Krishna Katha is Bhakti, Bharat, the whole importance of India is everyone inclined to have Bhakti only. I just guessing
that can be the
India,
explanation.
The whole spiritual culture is exists in India.
That's what Mahaprabhu also says, no? Bharat bhumite manushya janma hoila. Because Bharat is a very, very conducive place where we can achieve the highest of the destinations. So Vaikuntha में नहीं हो पाएगा, but यहाँ पे करेंगे तो austerities, and if we do tapasya and devotion there, we can even go to highest. So that is the glory and the fortune of taking birth in Bharatavarsa. He continues. The trees respect Tulasi and do not envy her because she has a pure heart. Sumanasa. Yasmin tapa sumanasa. So Tulasi has a pure heart, and sumanasa means flowering trees also. So austerity of Tulasi is respected by all the flowering trees. So two meanings. Either Tulasi has a pure heart or she is respected by all the flowering trees. These are the two meanings of Sumanasa. So that's how. So actually at one place it is described that Tulasi has a transcendental fragrance which can immediately awaken love of God. But in our conditioned state, we cannot smell that transcendental fragrance of Tulasi. Prabhupada writes, the importance of Tulasi leaves is very clearly mentioned here. Tulasi plants and tulasi leaves are very important in devotional service. Devotees are recommended to water tulasi every day. One atheistic Swami remarked, what is the use of watering tulasi? It is better to water eggplant. These foolish creatures, unacquainted with devotional service, sometimes play havoc with the education of people in general. So that's how we don't even, we whatever we are doing in the practice of bhakti, they are so very powerful. छोटी छोटी चीजें भी बहुत powerful है. That's how Rupa Goswami, he has put all the 64 limbs. And Srila Prabhupada's genius is such that just by attending morning program, we do more than 50 of them. You can count. 50 से ज्यादा हो जाता है सुबह सुबह मंगल आरती. If we are there from 4:30 to Bhagavatam class तक. हाँ प्रसाद भी ना उसमें भी प्रसाद भी आते हैं ना प्रसाद लेने तक. So that's how, simple things are so very potent. Rupa Goswami describes the glories of smelling the fragrance of tulasi also. दो श्लोक बहुत अच्छा बोलते हैं वो. या दृष्टा निखिला गशंग शमनी स्पृष्टा वपु पावनी रोगानाम अभिवंदिता निरशनी सिक्तांकिता त्रासिनी प्रत्यासक्ति विधायिनी भगवता श्री कृष्ण संरोपिता नस्त्या तच्चरणे विमुक्ति फलदा तस्यै तुलस्यै नमः. Drishta, just by looking at tulasi, agha shanga samani, all the sins get purified. Sprishta vapu pavani, touching the tulasi purifies the body. Roganam abhivandita, nirashani, just by eating, one becomes free from all the diseases. Sikt ankita, when we water tulasi, all the material miseries, they go away. Pratyasakti vidhayini bhagavata, and when we samropita, when we plant tulasi, it gives devotional service. And we offer tulasi at the lotus feet of Krishna. Nestya tacharane vimukti phalada. One gets liberation. So that is how the simple.
Where did this come?
This is from NOD. Exact verse second section में आता है. I can put on the group. उसमें एक और आगे भी है. दृष्टा स्पृष्टा तथा ध्याता पूजिता नमिता स्तुता रोपिता सेविता नित्यम पूजिता तुलसी शुभा. These 9 things which when we do, what happens? नवधा तुलसी देवी ये भजन्ति दिने दिने युग कोटि सहस्राणि ते वसन्ति हरि गृहे. दृष्टा स्पृष्टा ध्याता meditating, स्पृष्टा दृष्टा स्पृष्टा तथा ध्याता कीर्तिता नमिता after obeisance स्तुता again glorifying पूजिता नमिता स्तुता रोपिता सेविता नित्यम पूजिता तुलसी. ये 9 हो गए. क्या होगा ये सब करने से? युग कोटि सहस्राणि वसंती हरि गृहे. They will stay in Vaikuntha for eternity. Yuga Koti Sahasra means unlimited. Simple things of watering tulasi, we are getting so much of advantage. Okay, so now after describing the beauty of the gardens of the Lord of Vaikuntha, he is describing the beauty of the city. City में क्या होता है? यत्संकुलं हरिपदानति मात्र दृष्टैः वैदूर्यमारकटहेममयैर्विमानैः येषां बृहत्कटितटा स्मितशोभिमुख्या कृष्णात्मनं न रज आददुरुत्स्मयाद्यैः
The inhabitants of Vaikuntha travel in their airplanes made of lapis
lazuli
and gold, although crowded by their consorts who have large hips and beautiful smiling face. They cannot be stimulated to passion by their myth and beautiful charms.
Yat sankulam, in that abode, what is there? Hari padanati matra. एक ही चीज होती है वहां पे. Hari Padanati Matra Drishtai. Solely worship of the lotus feet of the Lord goes on there. Vaidurya Markat, and now the airplanes are described. It is not made up of tin and rubber. Vaidurya Markata Hemamaye Vimanai. And then all the ladies are described. They are very beautiful, smiling face, but although they are always with their beautiful consorts, Krishna Atmana, this is a very important word. Krishna Atma, their minds are absorbed in Krishna. Therefore, na raja, rajogun nahi hai wahan par. They are not stimulated by sexual desires. Although Utsmayadhyay, although they are intimately joking, laughing, still they are not affected by any of this material modes.
Yes.
So that is the wonderful glory of the Vaikuntha residents. So the Lord, as we have discussed many times in the first canto, when Krishna enters Dwarka, all the queens, they are trying to attract attention, but still nobody could attract the attention of Krishna by their beauty. They attracted Krishna by their devotion. What is that verse? Uddama bhava pishunama laval guhasa. Uddam, they were showing all their beauty, all their charms, but they were not able to attract. And then the next verse describes Etad Ishanam Ishasya Prakriti Sthopi Tad Gunai. All the Lord is there in the material world, he is not affected by the modes. Similarly, Nayujyate Sadatmaste Yatha Buddhi Tad Ashraya. Anybody who takes shelter of the Lord, they also don't get affected by the modes of this world. Chakravarti Thakur writes, Vaikuntha is filled with airplanes made of gold, obtained simply by surrender to the Lord by bhakti, not by karma jnana. Bhakti करेंगे तभी मिलेगा. ऐसा फ्लाइट चाहिए तो कर्म ज्ञान से नहीं मिलेगा. In those people engaged in bliss of worship of the Lord, there is no room for the bliss of Brahman. What to speak of material pleasure? Dhruv Maharaj also says, Ya nirvriti tanubhritam tavapad padma. The happiness which I am getting in two things. Bhavat jana katha smaran and tavapad padma dhyan. ये दो में इतना आनंद है. या निर्वृति तनुभृताम तवपाद पद्म ध्यानात् भवज्जन कथा श्रवणेन वा स्यात्. In comparison to this, sa brahmani, Brahma sukh is insignificant. What to speak of heavenly pleasure and what to speak of the pleasure of material earth. So that is same thing described here. The beauty of these women, they don't invoke material desires. Prabhupada writes. In the material world, opulence are achieved by material persons by dint of labor. But the devotees of the Lord, they have the opportunity to enjoy a transcendental situation. केवल भक्ति करने से सब मिलता है. Just like Prabhupada went and devotees, they got Rolls Royce. And reporters are asking, what is this? You're driving in Rolls Royce. Prabhupada said, अरे मेरा कृपा है, मैं accept कर रहा हूँ. I am representative of the Lord. The Lord drives in the golden Rolls Royce, golden chariot रहता है. ये tin rubber का लेके आए हैं, I am accepting out of my kindness. And the reporter was अभी बोलना क्या है, dumbfounded. Prabhupada had this, way of bewildering people. अभी क्या बोलेंगे? One time Prabhupada was sitting in the garden with all the disciples. One disciple, Britisher, was fanning. Chamar kar raha hai. It is a sunny day. One person passed by and he didn't like a Britisher fanning a Indian. He asked, Swamiji, why this person is fanning you? Prabhupada said, because it is sunny day, it is hot here. बोले अभी क्या बोलो? He just walked off. Because he was asking, ये क्यों कर रहा है? ये क्यों कर रहा है? गर्मी है इसलिए कर रहा है. Simple. Prabhupada wanted to give different answers. So Prabhupada writes, it is stated that in Vaikuntha, the consorts of residents are many, many times more beautiful than we can find in the material world. But they, although women are having large hips, beautiful faces, men are so absorbed in Krishna consciousness that beauty of these women cannot attract them. Rajogun is not there. That's how Raja. Na Raja Adaduhu. And then the famous verse comes.
Yeah,
Which-
above this class, there one portion was proper mentioned here. In other words, devotees in the Vaikuntha world, or even in this material world, is mentioned,
Yeah.
cannot be poverty stricken, as in sometimes of
Oh, yes, correct. All right. Cannot be.
Even in this material.
Even in the
cannot be poverty stricken.
Very boy nahi sakte. But devotees want, if the devotees want to be like that, just like Sudama, क्यों गरीब थे वो?
He wanted.
Tapasya.
He wanted to be like that. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes that bhakti gives all wealth, all riches, it is all auspicious. Why he was such a poverty-stricken person? So there Chakravarti Thakur writes that there are two types of devotees. They are renounced devotees, but एक का है ठीक है देंगे तो मैं ले लूंगा कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. I don't want what you give me. Like other type, oh चाहिए ही नहीं मेरे को. आप देंगे तो भी नहीं लूंगा मैं, you know. So Sudama was like that person. तो नहीं चाहिए तो फिर कैसे देंगे? So that's how. Otherwise, devotees they cannot be poverty stricken. And of course, Sudama himself tells, why Krishna didn't give me all the wealth? Because he knew that if I get all the wealth, I'll be deviated from my bhakti. That's why Krishna mercifully he didn't give me all the wealth. बहुत अच्छा श्लोक है उसमें ये जो बोलते हैं says Krishna mercifully he didn't give me wealth because he knew I'll be distracted. Okay, then the famous verse comes, Prabhupada quotes this many times. Shri Rupini Konayati Charanarvindam Leelambujena Harisadmani Mukta Dosha Spatika Kudya Himni Marjati Vayadanugrahane Anyayatnaha.
The ladies in the Vaikuntha planets are as beautiful as the goddess of fortune herself. Such transcendently beautiful ladies, their hands playing with lotuses and their leg bangles tinkling, are sometimes seen sweeping the marble walls, which are bedecked with at intervals with golden borders, in order to receive the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So after explaining the very pure nature of the ladies of the Vaikuntha, now he is describing Lakshmis of Vaikuntha. So Lakshmis of the Vaikuntha, they are also very, very humble. She is very humble, Lakshmi Devi. She is also engaged in service of the Lord. Shri Rupini Lakshmi, personified beauty. Konayati Charanaravindam, whose feet jingle with ankle bells. Leela Ambujena, she has a lotus in her hand. Hari Sadmani Mukta Dosha, she is without the fault. What is the fault of Lakshmi?
Cannot give us the opulence.
There is no fault, free from all faults.
हाँ वही तो, but यहाँ पे fault है, वहाँ पे faultless है,
Chanchal.
चंचल है. There she is not chanchal. She is always there at the lotus feet serving. Mukta dosha. What is she doing? Samlakshyate Spatika Kudya. Some margin. She is sweeping the palace of Lord, which is made up of Spatik, Kudya, Upetya, Himni. सब वही है उधर. मतलब bricks और stone तो है ही नहीं उधर. There is no dust there. फिर भी साफ सफाई कर रहे हैं. Why? यद अनुग्रहण्य अन्यत्र. लॉर्ड विल से कौन झाड़ू लगा रहा था जो नहीं है फिर भी कौन just to attract the attention. They are all brooming the Vaikuntha Loka. Chakravarti Thakur writes, reflected on the polished walls, she seems to be cleaning with a broom. though she actually holds a lotus in her extended hand. So he's saying she seems to be holding a broom. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives another understanding. She appears to be a maid servant. हाथ में लोटस लेके चल रही है, but लग रहा है कि झाड़ू ले रही है. She appears to be a maid servant who does the cleaning. She is without the fault. The lotus represents other objects also that she holds in her hands. Her glory should not be diminished by her appearance. Others take great effort to gain her mercy. So all the devatas are working hard to gain her mercy, and she is working hard to gain mercy of the Lord. So that is the beauty of Lakshmi Devi in the spiritual world. Prabhupada quotes Brahma Samhita verse, Lakshmi Sahasra Shatasam Brahma Sevyamanam. Thousands of Lakshmis are brooming. Prabhupada writes, the ground of Vaikuntha is made up of touchstone. There is no need to sweep it. Hardly any dust there. Hardly matlab kuch bhi nahi. Still, to attract the attention, to achieve the grace of the Lord, she is doing it. Prabhupada writes about Mukta Dosha. She is chanchal by nature, but the chanchala becomes sthira. The goddess of fortune does not remain steadily in one place. Her name is Chanchala. She is not steady. Therefore, we find that a man who is very rich may become poorest. Example is Ravan. So that's how Ravan, because he wanted to enjoy Lakshmi separately. Okay, so then Prabhupada writes.
The lotus represents other objects that she holds.
Vishnu
Vishwanath Chakravarti.
Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes.
What does it mean?
मुझे भी सोचना पड़ेगा. I'm not sure. Lotus, anyone can understand? Lotus represents other objects that she holds in her hand. I'll find out.
Lakshmi,
For the service.
there be so many.
Is it? That is from the here.
तो material world में होता है. यहाँ पे क्या है? I don't know. I'll ask.
For the services.
Maybe. I don't know. Because Chakravarti Thakur ज़्यादा कोई explanation देती नहीं. Her glory should not be diminished by her appearance. Because all the other personalities, they give so much of respect to Lakshmi Devi. And here she looks like she's holding a broom. So one should not think unka position is come down. So her glory is always there. So that is the meaning. Her glory should not be diminished by her appearance of a maid servant. She appears to be a maid servant, but we should not think she is an ordinary lady. Okay, so now having described the bhakti which is expressed in her service, Brahmaji is now describing her bhakti which is expressed through her archana. So she is cleaning, but she is also doing archana also. What type of archana Lakshmi Devi does? Like all the sadhakas, she is also doing archana of the Lord there. Vapishu vidramata vamalamritapsu Preshvita nijavane tulasi bhirisham Abhyarchati swalakam unnasam ikshya vaktram Uchcheshtitam bhagavatityamatangaya shrihi
The goddess of fortune, the Lord and Tulsi leaves from the coral fans of transmitted reservoirs of water. By offering worship to the Lord, they can see on the water the reflection of their beautiful faces to various goals. And it appears that they are even more beautiful because the Lord is kissing their faces.
So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, what is the daily activity of Lakshmi Devi? Karte kya hai udhar? She takes her morning bath in order to worship Narayan. Then with a tulsi, She worships the Narayan in the grove situated in, what was the forest? Naishreyasa. So in Naishreyas Vana or Nishreyasa Vana, there is a pond which is filled with nectarian water. And worships the Lord with Tulasi. However, in order to wash her face, she sits on the steps on the bank of the pond, gazes at her face with beautiful locks, Swalakam, and knows. She thinks that it is leftovers from being kissed by the Lord. Or seeing her face reflected in the water, mixed with the reflection of the blue lotus, she begins to think that her face is being kissed by the Lord. So these two understandings Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives. Because the pond is full of lotus, as she is seeing the reflection, she thinks that, oh, it is like being kissed by the Lord. Okay. Now, another very, very beautiful verse comes. Three verses, 23 to 25, describes what is the effect of hearing about the Lord and not hearing about the Lord. In 23rd verse, Brahmaji is describing who can enter Vaikuntha, who can't enter. First he describes who can't enter Vaikuntha. Very interesting, very important verse. Yanna Brajantyagabido Rachananuvadā Shrinvantiye Anya Vishaya Kukatamatagnihi Yastu Shrutahat Bhagairnibhirat Sara Tam Shipantya Saraneshu Tama Suhanta.
It's very much regrettable that unfortunate people do not discuss the description of Vaikuntha planet, but engage in topics which are unworthy to hear and which bewilder one's intelligence. Those who give up the topics of Vaikuntha and take to talk of the material world are thrown into the darkest region of ignorance.
Yanna Brajanti Aghabhida, those who do not Aghabhida Rachananuvada Shrinvanti, those who do not hear, Na Shrinvanti, क्या नहीं सुनते हैं? Aghabhida Rachananuvada, that Lord of Vaikuntha, who is vanquisher of all the sins. Aghabhida is vanquisher of all the sins. Rachananuvada. Rachana means the narrations of the Lord. Anuvad means hear the narrations. And what they do? Shinvanti Anya Vishaya. They hear all the other topics. Which is like Kukatha. It is all unworthy to hear. Why they hear? Matigani. They have lost their intelligence. And all this katha bewilders the intelligence. Oh, it is so very regrettable. Hat bhagai, they are unfortunate. Because these people, they have lost their value of life. At sara. Sar bhul gaye. Because people who give up the topics of the Lord and hear the topics of this world, what are they doing? Asaraneshu tamasu hanta, they'll go to the lowest regions of ignorance. So that's how the glorious position of Krishna Katha is being described. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, those who hear other topics other than the glorification of pastimes of the Krishna, Rachana means the pastimes, Aghavida means Krishna. What are those other topics? Books of logic. They do not go to Vaikuntha. Topics heard by such unfortunate men, which take away all the good fortune obtained by the topics, which give good quality. Atta Sara means the topics of the Lord, they give good qualities, they give good fortune. Unfortunate people, they don't hear. आश्चर्यमेतद् हि मनुष्यलोके सुधाम परित्यज्य विषम पिबन्ति. So very astonishing. विष को पी रहे हैं मृत छोड़ के. So this is a very, very repeated theme of verses. श्रोतव्यादीनि राजेंद्र जिनाम संति सहस्रशः. आगे क्या है? Second canto. अपश्यताम आत्मतत्त्वं गृहेषु गिरिमेदिनाम. People, they are talking thousands of topics. हजारों चीजें बात करने के लिए, लेकिन भगवान के बारे में नहीं बोलेंगे. Prabhupada writes, the most unfortunate people are impersonalists who cannot understand the variegated, transcendental variegatedness. They are afraid to talk about the beauty of Vaikuntha because they think that variegatedness is material. This mentality is called as kukatha matigani. So Prabhupada is not talking about ordinary materialists. He's talking about impersonalists because they do not understand the glory of Vaikuntha. They are having lowest of the intelligence, kukatha. And then Prabhupada talks how this material world is a reflection of the spiritual world and there can be no permanent happiness there. And if the material world is of so much variegatedness, how can spiritual world be without any variety? But those who are unfortunate, they don't discuss Harikatha. And instead they discuss the topics of politics and economic development. Unfortunate. So that's how it is very, very important for a spiritual practitioner to understand that we should not waste our time hearing all the topics, all the politics, all the Bollywood, all the cricket, only Krishna Katha. Okay, we can do some shloka recitation.
But this point which is mentioned here repeatedly, like mentioning entire theme is focusing on only Harikatha, but the distractions are always there, because we don't have that much space of hearing conditioning, I guess.
Yeah.
The solution is association or whatever, but what you suggest that we can engage.
आप लोग तो कर ही रहे हैं. आप लोग से हमसे मुझे मैं सीखता हूँ. ऐसा नहीं. वो मेरे को भी ऐसा बोलना पड़ेगा. दैन्य छाड़ दैन्य तुम्हार. Of course, all of you are practicing so nicely.
That gives us happiness what you say, but it doesn't remain when you go out from this room. That's why I'm saying how to remain focused, like no distractions.
See, basically, अभी आज की दुनिया में distractions they are prominently are social media, and for I think doctors के लिए इतना social media का distraction नहीं होगा ना. इतना time ही किधर है social media में जाने का. So all of you are already so busily engaged in services and your duty. तो time किधर है आप लोगों के पास? You all are very nicely absorbed in Krishna Katha. So, we आप लोगों को क्या बोल सकते हैं? आप लोग ही बताइए. You only can give the solution of your question.
Once you go to office, 9 o'clock till even 7 o'clock, it's completely.
अभी वो तो ऑब्वियस है ना. वो भक्ति वेदांत में तो रूल है. वो कोई बीच में जपा करता हो दिखा तो उसको मना कर देता है. That is obvious ना. काम करते करते जपा कर रहे हैं. So that is there all everywhere. If you are working, you cannot be just hearing some lecture while working or reading something while working. But the prominent consciousness should be that I am doing it so that I can serve Lord better. That is the baseline consciousness of a practicing devotee working in the outside world. So that will come when we absorb ourselves, when we are doing our sadhana, our hearing, direct activities. Chaitanya Charan Prabhu का statement में बताया था ना मैंने. Direct activities में कितना focused है. To that extent, Krishna will be the background when we are doing indirect. So that's all. Sorry?
The temple guards are there. They are there entire day in the temple.
So what?
Serving, but he is there in front of the Lord also.
उससे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है.
No, but I think the cards which we are having now, they are really absurd actually. I thought in one day, but they have a lot of opportunities outside to some service. I just interacting one day and say, I'm shocked. I say, I have, I have like much, they have much more better consciousness than
But these
this
guys are really good.
group are actually, they are very rich actually. So the person who's sitting here is not a poor guy. He has a big house in this town place. So why are you doing it? बोले इधर तो मंदिर का सेवा करना है ना, तो गार्ड तो बनना ही है. So he said I consciousness. So I'm saying just because they are with duty there, so there's no option for them actually. But this kind of
there are many devotees
I
who
was not hearing that another person he has appointment to somewhere just to do service. उनको दूसरे लोग मिलता है सारे किधर नहीं करने का इधर है राधा किधर नहीं करता है बोलो व्हाट है यार सब पर्सन अगर दूसरी जगह पे अगर 5,000 एक्स्ट्रा दे तो बाकी हो जाता है दिस पर्सन इज सिटिंग हियर एंड डूइंग यू नो this is actually the Vaishnava darshan every day they see the Vaishnava so seeing Vaishnava is as equal to seeing the art.
externals cannot decide कि कौन कितना बड़ा devotee है, कौन क्या क्या सेवा कर रहा है. So that's why in the institutional success and personal success are different things. So somebody may be doing big services, management, पूरा बड़ा lecture, but personal success is different than institutional success. प्रचार बहुत चल रहा है, management अच्छा चल रहा है, but if you are not focusing on the personal success, that how much I am absorbed in Krishna personally. Otherwise, after some time, preaching is like a skill we develop. Of course, Krishna Shakti bina nahi tara pravartan, but still, after some time, it is a skill. All the lectures we know, all the presentations we know, उसमें ज़्यादा कुछ मेहनत करना ही नहीं पड़ता है. मतलब personally, I can tell, मतलब most of the things I speak, मेहनत नहीं करना है अभी, because सब already prepared है ये. But if I am not putting my effort in my personal sadhana, in connecting with the Lord personally, so then it becomes superficial after some time. I'll be stuck there at a level of advancement. People will think अरे बड़े devotee हो गए हैं, लेकिन मैं उधर का उधर ही. So that's how.
This is here was the last point Prabhupada mentioned that shloka, which I like to. Prabhupada mentioned here, unless those who develop interest, become interested in going back home, back to Godhead. Actually, we have interest. That's why we are sitting here. But that focus, one point, Purnanda is not there. That's the problem. And we are not in this total word still. So that how to remain as focus one point at a time. Yes, this is my goal. I want to go to back to Godhead. We know the goal is there. The goal is very high also. And Krishna Prem is much more high than going back to Godhead also. So why we think that very easy to approach? I don't understand, because when we see something is very inachievable, like very top, then we do a lot of efforts to go ahead. Right? We don't find that kind of enthusiasm or those kind of eagerness or focus on for attention to really want to go. And Prabhupada mentioned in one of his class, one person asked him question, how much time you prepare to surrender?
1 minute. Prabhupada says 1 minute.
I was shocked, The same question.
नहीं, go back home के लिए नहीं बोलते हैं वो.
नहीं, surrender.
Purified.
Surrender.
जो surrender, हाँ, surrender.
1 minute. 1 minute just to surrender. 1 minute. So, I was to go Biraj Maharaj. Then I realized these people are not ordinary.
क्या बोले महाराज?
As Maharaj, this is a story what Maharaj was narrating in the book of what Tanzan Vital Depend. They are staying in Delhi, that area which or Mohalla, and everything is inconvenient, no toilets, nothing. 4, 5 males, one female together, all these normal situations. And you are just, 2, 3 years of us, maybe 2 years of association with Prabhupada. Nothing is there with them. How much surrender level they are having? Unimaginable. I asked him, how this surrender has come, they're ready to do anything for purpose. Just 50 rupees, Prabhupada will be established here preaching movement. 50 rupees. And we have so many rupees, so such everything, Guru Padashaya, temple, everything, but that conviction of surrender is not there.
Why do you think you now don't have one? I want to speak.
इनके बारे में तो मुझे वो श्लोक आ रहा है, याद आ रहा है। क्या वो, स्थिर होइया घर आओ ना हो बातुल, क्रमे क्रमे पायलोक भव सिंधु को। रिलैक्स, आप जितना कर रहे हैं ना, वो उसके सामने हम लोग उसका ऐसा एकदम लेश मात्र भी नहीं कर रहे हैं। प्रभु जी कैन स्पीक।
No, he is just staying outside working on the order of Maharaj. I think
Yes.
he wanted to come out so many times, but Maharaj told you are better serving there than here. You stay there, continue as long as you are needed.
क्या है तो मतलब ये तो मेरे को इसने मेरे को हंसी क्यों आ रही है, मैं बोल रहा हूँ अभी
हम जानते हैं।
Prabhuji was himself telling one day, he was talking to Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj, मैं छोड़ दूं अभी BMC का जॉब छोड़ देता हूँ। तो महाराज बोले नहीं यार, it is for the service, प्रभुपाद का सेवा। तो अभी इसलिए मेरे को हंसी आ रहा है, मैं बोला अभी आप इतना बोल रहे हैं तो हमको तो अभी ऐसा क्या करें अभी।
Wherever we are, the problem is that the association, we come to associate with devotees and will be there actually, and then wherever we place, that time to main focus is very difficult, you know, because this situation comes in everyone's life. Yeah, I've seen that situation.
His Holiness Bhakti also Maharaj. And so I think he also asked, the compliancy and comfort zone.
Yeah.
I thought I'm even more less than that, I don't even qualify, but still the compliancy and comfort
So
zone,
we have a lot of time, I think. Look,
क्या बात कर रहे हैं?
lot of time is we have time.
टाइम अच्छा जानने के लिए।
Because we don't feel that because we part of Krishna, we think that time, you know,
that urgency is.
I don't know that kind of, I don't know what urgency is required. It's not there.
आपके लिए ना वो धैर्य चाहिए, धैर्य। थोड़ा आप इतना एंजाइटी लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, आपको उल्टा बोलना पड़ेगा। रिलैक्स, थोड़ा कम करिए। किसी को बोलना पड़ता है, अरे कुछ तो कर। आपके लिए उल्टा बोलना पड़ेगा हमको, बस करो, थोड़ा कम करो। एनीवेज, के आपका ग्लोरिफिकेशन वो आपके लिए हम सुन रहे हैं। Okay, I don't want to comment anything. आप सब जानते हैं, it is just a desperation of a devotee.
When I asked Viraj Maharaj question, Viraj Maharaj was saying, why people should surrender? When I going through the Vaibhav classes, and I realized that I asked the person why they are surrendered suddenly, because they have so much done. Just to assist the Prabhupada, they have really manifested. It is not suddenly someone can, you know, this may happen by the purity of the Prabhupada also, but they were not ordinary people actually. They just manifested to just assist the Prabhupada. They are not ordinary like jivas. So then I made that.
Also, we are repeated so many times. So suppose you give some
They will answer that. I said, but I realized they are not ordinary people itself. It's such a Shuddha Sattva is so high. So much. हमारा पहले का कर्म बहुत है, आई डू तो बहुत कुछ करना पड़ेगा। We are not on that platform.
आपको भगवान अभी बहुत सारा कुछ कराएंगे, अभी आपके लिए बहुत सारा सेवा बचा के रखे हैं अभी, और बहुत कुछ करता है। Okay, so we'll recite some verses. We memorize till which verse?
कृष्ण सुदामा भगत।
कृष्ण सुदामा किधर आ गए?
सुदामा भगत
स्वधामोपगते, कृष्ण सुदामा किधर है? कृष्ण सुधामोपगते जन्म ज्ञान, कौन सा श्लोक है वो? I think अच्छा 1-3। ओके, वासुदेव पर आवेदा हो गया, एतद् रूपम भगवतो नहीं किया हमने। कृष्ण सवेद धातुम पदवीं परस्य याद किया हमने? We did. 1-5-10, very interesting, very important. Powerful verse. Transcendental literatures and all the mundane literatures. Okay, we'll recite this. 1-5-10. न यद्वचश्चित्रपदं हरेर्यशो
चित्रपदं हरेर्यशो
3 times
न यद्वचश्चित्रपदं हरेर्यशो न यद्वचश्चित्रपदं